can't always buy your dream home, but you start and buy a home, which then will allow you to be able to grow that equity to be able to eventually buy that dream home for you. Hey, Happy New Year. I'm just putting away 2024's files there for the homes that I sold in 2024. And so just want to again reach out and say thank you to everyone who had purchased and sold a house in 2024. And a lot of people have already asking me, what does 2025 look like? And what is my professional opinion on what's going to be? Now, certainly I subscribe to a lot of different webinars and different people who are a lot smarter than I am when it comes down to where the interest rates are and what's going to be happening. So yes, in 2024, we felt that the interest rates were supposed to go down and get a bit lower to maybe the high fives, low sixes, somewhere in that range, which obviously we saw that did not happen. So we feel in 2025 is that they will continue to go down a little bit, but every time it seems like that the Fed cuts a rate, the interest rates of housing kind of goes up, which has been interesting, but we're still way below that 8.1, 8.3 high that we actually had there. And so we're much better, much more affordable on that as well. If that interest rate just goes down to maybe 0.5% or even 1%, that's going to open up the market to several million more buyers that are going to be waiting on the fence for that to be able to happen, because it comes down to what? Affordability. Affordability. Can I afford this house? When interest rates, please don't just think about, wow, interest rates are so high, I can't afford anything. Because yes, if you look at all of the percentages of what's happening with the valuation of homes, here we are selling about little over 4 million homes in 2024. They expect that to happen again in 2025, about that same amount. They're actually expecting a little bit percentage, a little bit higher than that. But if that interest rate just moves a little bit more down, that's going to trigger more people that are going to be able to afford to purchase a house, is where we want it to be. I got a lot of people who actually say, Eric, I'm not buying a home until the interest rates go down. Well, I will tell you right now that there are some gems out there that are people who purchased their home 15, 20, 30 years ago that are putting their homes on the market now that can afford to be able to be aggressive, to be able to get their home sold in the next 7 to 15 days when it goes on the market. Those are the gems that you need to find. So when somebody yesterday said, Eric, I'm just not going to buy a home until they go down, then I look at the 3 buyers that just closed a house in the month of December here recently. First-time home buyers had a little bit of down payment, got assistance and stuff from their lender. So you need to realize that they actually, I don't remember what the total number was, but it was something like $256 that they actually walked in to purchase their new home, because we structured it with a credit from the seller. We structured it with a credit from first-time home buyer assistance program. We had a lower compensation. We structured it so much that, did they ever come to me and say, I don't want a 7 or 6.5 or 6.6% interest rate? They never even brought it up. We just looked at it and said, how can we know our why, and how can we get into our very first home so then we can actually start creating equity and building future and building that buying power for a future? Because you can't always buy your dream home, but you start and buy a home, which then will allow you to be able to grow that equity to be able to eventually buy that dream home for you. Eric, when should I put my house on the market? When should I buy a house? What should I be doing? And I will tell you right now, in the very first part of January, there were first 4 days of January, including January 1st, that I was showing property, and I get a text a day from one of my sellers asking me, should I put it on now or should I wait a little bit later? And most of people actually on the sellers, they're waiting a little bit longer. So what that does is that historically, our inventory is still a little bit low, and historically during the winter months, a lot of people took their homes off the market that they were unable to sell, which would be houses that the buyer did not deem the value was where that should be. So the seller took their overpriced home on the market, thinking they'll wait till September to probably put their home back on the market at probably the similar price, to help that now that we have a flood of buyers that are on there, that maybe the buyer then will actually come from the Bay Area somewhere and purchase the home. Well, they'll look at the history and realize that, wait, they put it on the market, it's been on the market 6 months ago, never sold, so why would I pay this dollar amount when it's now on the market again in spring? So what I'm telling you right there is that if you're a buyer looking to purchase a property, yes, you could wait for spring, but of all of these listings that I personally have coming on the market, in springtime, maybe February because the weather might be warmer, maybe March, you're going to have more competition at that point, which when there's more competition, you're going to get into some bidding wars, especially if that first Fed rate, they mark that down. If that interest rate drops and the prices are sitting there in the homes that are there and all these buyers just flood into the market, that is actually going to cause a little frenzy where you're going to get a bunch of buyers competing on the homes. There have been some buyers that do I agree upon it? Probably not in some cases when they want $100,000 less on an offer on a home that I feel that maybe that might be a little bit too much because the value is there on a particular home. But yes, it's only worth what a buyer is willing to pay. So please, if you're looking to buy in 2025, if you wait like everyone else feels like they're wanting to wait, then unfortunately what's going to end up happening is you're going to be competing you're probably going to be buying a higher price point house or higher value on your home, when today there's been some escrows that we're able to get in there of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 lower from the seller's current asking price, with the assistance, with the buy down, with things there to be able to have comfort level with your payment. And that's what I really want you guys to understand, is buying a house. When we bought our first house, I was stressed to the max. I had 3 jobs because I said, how am I going to afford this home? Yes, I know, guys, you're going to say, well, Eric, you bought your house in 1995 and it was like pennies on the dollar. Yes, but the interest rates are 10%. So you got to realize that anytime that we're looking to purchase a house, we stretch ourselves. We just have to be able to get into that home ownership. But I don't want you to stress and stretch yourself more than you feel comfortable. So never feel that you just have to get into a home and you're going to mortgage your whole entire life. You're not going to be able to do anything but make your house payment and then keep your heater on like 60 degrees. You don't want to be that way. So if you feel comfortable, that's what I want you guys to do. I feel comfortable paying this much money per month, and let's back into what we can do and find a house with all of these programs to maybe make sure that you are comfortable with when you purchase your home. So if you're thinking that you want to be in your home in springtime or summer, because some of you guys I know want a swimming pool for summertime, you need to start looking now for your preferred lender, your preferred real estate agent, and making connections now to be able to get that started, to be able to then get your program going where you can maybe get completely pre-approved in about 30 days or so, and then you start looking for properties, you put an offer in on something, and generally it's about 30 or 45 days of an escrow, depending on the seller and your circumstances. So with that said, that you're going to need to be starting now to be able to get a home somewhere in March, to be able to know that you're going to be starting your home ownership here in 2025. Well, thank you guys for listening and watching today. Again, positivity trumps negativity, right? So whatever the day, whatever life brings us, make sure we stay positive of it. Yes, we have sorrows, but you know what? Smile, go through life, find more peace, share happiness to others, and then you might as well buy a house in 2025 as well. And if you're looking to sell, I'm also here to help there too. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Sure. 2, peace. All right, take 2. Can we get one of those? Okay. All right.